Hello everyone! Welcome back to another video. The first 1.16 snapshot is officially here, and I am so excited by all the fantastic blocks that we've been shown so far. I've been having so much fun experimenting with them, and this is my first base concept that I have come up with. This base concept transformed these lovely basalt towers into this amazing connected base, connected by sturdy bridges with shroom lights hanging and the amazing crimson accent all throughout, with of course some soulfire blue hanging in spots from the ceiling. I think this fits in the biome so well, and I can't wait to show it all to you in detail. At the end of the video, I will be giving you a tutorial on how I created this base and the basic structure here. So if you would like to build this for yourself, stick around to the end of the video where I will be showcasing that. As we step through this custom portal I've built, we are presented with this lovely pathway using these new crimson nylium blocks. I absolutely adore these, as well as all of the new root blocks, as well as fungi that we can spread around on this terrain. Over here we've got a couple of fairly simple farms. I've got nether warts sprinkled all around as decoration. Over here we've got the lovely hoglins. I just sort of made them a little pen out of some bone that spawned here to decorate it a little bit. They are kind of adorable, I'm not gonna lie. I love their mohawks. Such a cool addition to the nether. Down here, as we follow the path, we've got a winding staircase that takes us along by these little root farms that I've set up here just as more of a decoration. I love the way that this pathway sort of works in with the terrain though. I think it turned out really nicely in this little corner here as a condensed little staircase to get down here. And the farms, of course, are just super cute, fitting in with the theme really well. One of my favorite views of the entire base is actually right here. I think this gives us one of the best views and perspectives of what this base really looks like without having to go fly out over the lava. The hanging soulfire lights work perfectly in the atmosphere here. Anyways, that's enough talk about it from here. Let's actually go and explore the base now, shall we? Entering into the base here, oh, the atmosphere is just so lovely. As I was building this, I tried to think of things that I would maybe need as exploring the nether. I do think this interior would change based on what I need now when they finish the update, but so far I've got some brewing stands, a general storage area down there, a work area up here, and some farms sprinkled about. Of course, if you wanted to, you could also put a proper ledge on here if you're really nervous about the lava. I would maybe go with maybe some fence gates. You could just extend the fence normally, or some trapdoors would work really well too. Let's head up into the base now. First, we've got the spiral staircase that's going to take us into the first layer. Got some simple farms along here, as well as our ender chest, just in case we needed any of those goodies. I love the way that these warm tones of lamps are working within here. I think the shroom light works so good in this very blue atmosphere to kind of warm things up. Crossing this other bridge, over here we've got the brand new armor shown off. I love the way that this looks. It is such a good aesthetic. I know in survival this is obviously like the best armor that you can get in the game, of course, but in creative mode, where we aren't quite as worried about the durability of our armor, it makes for really lovely decorations in places. Whereas the diamond didn't always look quite as realistic in its bright blue, although it's very iconic, it's not the same. This has quite a lovely effect. I can't wait to build some castles and forges and stuff like that with this armor shining through in my cinematics. A general work area through here, and then we can cross another bridge. This building over here is a little bit different, having a little garden on top and a staircase that's going to take us into the next layer, where I've just set up a very, very simple work area down here. Just trying to think of some basic things that you might need when you're working around the nether. Again, this interior is probably up for change as the nether expands and we get more snapshots released with things that are going to be added. Overall, I really like the way that these came out. The new basalt block looks incredible. I think it's so lovely to have a darker sort of stone textured block within the game, and although it's not the most common or renewable block just coming from these pillars here, it is possible to obtain a good amount of it. So it's possible to use it in both creative and survival building, especially in houses or bases like this that don't use a whole ton of it. My favorite thing about this base is how repeatable the pattern is. It's pretty much just different size and shape variants of the same exact house, so if you know how to do one, you can repeat it and just change it up slightly from one to the other and connect them together with bridges, and then there you go. You have a whole nether base. Speaking of, let's finally get into the tutorial so I can show you exactly how I created this shape. Alright, so if you like the design that I've shown you here, I would like to now show you a quick block by block tutorial on how I actually created it. I've got some of the basic blocks in my inventory now, but we will need a few extras for detailing as we get further into it. Your first job is just to find one of these lovely towers of basalt. They can be anywhere they spawn. You can see they kind of spawn all over the place, especially in this soul sand valley. I'm finding there are quite a few of them around here, and the terrain in general as well as the atmospheric fog is just really fun to work in, so I recommend Soul Sand Valley highly. I'm going to go ahead and work with this pillar here. I'm going to be finding my center block, which is going to be this one, and then I'm going to be counting out 5 blocks on every side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once that's done, we're going to do 2 on each end of that. Just basically creating a very simple circle. Once you've got that, it's time to connect the corners. We're just going to be dragging in the corners like so and creating a little almost arrow on every single corner. Once that's done, just fill it all in. Now that it's filled in, we're going to go ahead and add our basalt pillars that are going to make for the foundation of our entire base. I'm going to put one on each of these little ends here that we built, and I'm going to be building it up 5 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just on every edge here. Now that we have that, it's time for the slabs. We're going to go along the base, and in the top half of the block, put a layer of these slabs. And then same exact pattern that you just did on the bottom, but do it on the top. For these ones, it's fairly easy because you can just drag it across on each end and then out by 2 and out by 2, and it connects up perfectly. Now that that's done, we're going to go in with our crimson planks and just line the entire inside, go all the way around in a circle, connecting it completely together. And once that's done, our crimson slabs along each of these edges, just 3 of them. This is going to give it more of a sphere shape and not have it be too flat. And once that's done, again on the inside with some more blocks. The best thing I think about this design is how easy it is to recreate it. This can be done on any size circle, or even a square design like the one I did down there would work perfectly fine, so you can vary it quite a lot and still get good results. Once the inside is filled in, we're going to go along these edges and again just place some slabs, just to round it off a little bit. And then along the top, we're going to be doing 3 more slabs on each of those corners, and we're going to eventually just connect those together and completely fill them in. Once that's done, we can just completely connect all of these together, filling in all of our gaps. And there we have it. There is a pretty basic roof. Now, obviously we have a lot more to do here. One of my favorite things about the Nether is adding a lot of spikes to builds. I think it can add a lot more of that fantasy flair to it that we are looking for with a build like this. So we're going to go ahead up in the center of each block. We're going to place a stair, then we're going to break the first 2 and replace them with the nether brick, and break the top 2 and replace them with nether brick. And we're going to do this on each side. Now once that's done, it's time to think about our spikes. Upside down stairs on each of these edges should start us off really nicely. The top of this one is a little bit awkward just because our pillar is a little bit odd. You could opt to shorten this pillar up a little bit and bring it down to 1 sooner, or you could just leave it as is and attach your spikes normally just to the pillar. I'm going to choose to do that and kind of step back and see how it looks. Yeah, I don't think that looks weird at all. I think that's perfectly fine. I do think, however, in the center here, we are going to go ahead and just replace this out with a brick, just to help this connection a little bit more in the center. I love the effect that these spikes give. I think they add so much to the houses, and you can see in the distance your base is going to look really cool just because of the fog and the atmosphere here in the Nether. You get so much of this haziness, so in the distance having your roof have that extra bit of texture really gives you a nice result as you're coming upon your base. It makes it look a lot more epic. At the moment, our base, however, is not very safe, so let's go along this bottom edge here and just add in some simple fence. to keep all of our lovely visitors from falling out. If you wanted to completely fill this in with wall, I'm betting that would look really good too. Maybe even some of those new nether brick wall blocks, how they connect together, would be perfect here if you wanted to keep yourself safe from ghasts in this lovely hanging house. And for the next step, we're going to be using this beautiful crimson stem. I was so excited when I saw this block, but I will admit it's a little bit tricky to use because of its, well, super flashy colors. You can really use either of the stems here that you like, whichever color accent you choose, you can totally use. Because both of them have these deep purples, they will both work with this build. I'm going to be going for the red one as I did in my other design over there. And we're just going to go one in from these outside slabs we placed and place these stems on that crimson roof. And now that that's done, down from those stems, we're going to go ahead and add in another layer of nether brick stairs. And along each of these pillars where we have the slab, we're going to be replacing that out for a stair. Now we're going to head in with our crimson trapdoor, and just on the top half of the slab, we're going to put that trapdoor in just to add a little bit of a better transition there. I really like the detail that this adds, and we can add it all the way around this entire build. Careful not to flip them down as you're going. Once that's done, your house is almost complete. There's only one thing that we're really missing. Can you guess what it is? Yeah, it doesn't look very supported right now. All I do to fix this is add a little bit more crimson along the bottom. I think there are quite a lot of different support variations that you could use that would look really, really lovely. So you can kind of just choose how you want to do this yourself, I think. I'm going to be going for this basic slab look. I think it looks fine for what we're going for, but if you wanted to go with more of these pillars and sort of connect them up in a curved fantasy way, I think that would look really lovely as well. And you can see where my pillar is a little bit uneven. I just sort of forced that to work. I think it looks better when you don't really get rid of your basalt that's here. Leave it as it naturally is and try to work around it. But there we go. There is our main foundation. Now there are a few other things that you could add here for details, and of course you are going to need interior as well as your bridges to get around to the terrain or wherever you need to go. A spiral staircase going down into the lava could also be a really nice touch if you needed to get down there. For me, one of the things that I like to do is grab some nether brick as well as a hopper and just add some fun details to the end of some of these pillars. So for example, right here, I might drag these basalt pillars down, place a hopper on them, connect that with a fence or two, then a wall, and another fence, and it just adds this really lovely hanging detail. You could even hang some of that soul fire off of this, or you could go for a shroom light or a lantern. Here's what both of those options look like to light up your base. I really like that extra little detail, and I think because the entire house is meant to look like it's hanging, it really adds a nice effect. I do recommend when you're doing your interior to put some shroom lights up in the ceiling inside. It really helps it give it that nice glow in the atmosphere as you're flying through it, or walking through it if you're in survival mode, of course. Anyways, that is all from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments down below what your favorite block is so far in this update. I'm not 100% sure if I could pick a favorite, but I really love that they added new purple variants as well as the warped wood. It looks so incredible. If you're interested in seeing more of my process of building with these new blocks, I've been streaming some of it over on my Twitch. I'll link that down in the description if you'd like to follow me over there and see the process of these builds coming together live. Thank you once again so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye everyone!